Okay, so I'm almost home, and I want to talk a little bit more about this. I'm thinking about this twin flame and this unconditional love that you have for your twin. And I was thinking about how I went today to be with him and his mother and his son. It was really fun. I missed them. And I was thinking about, like my kids or like feedback that, he how do I express this? Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it because I know that there's a different way of looking at this. Like, oh, he's not attracted to you and he doesn't want to be with you and he's playing with you. Like, he is telling you he doesn't want to be with you, and then he calls you and invites you, and then you go running, and but I don't see it like that. I see it like me going after my heart. And what's true for me is that I love him and I love them and I want to see them. That's the truth. So if he invites me and I have a chance to go and see him and see them and have a fun, morning trip, then I'm going. What does that have to do with whether or not he, where he wants to leave space? Okay, he wants to leave space, but I know that as a person, he likes me. I know that. And I know that him and I have a connection that is undeniable. And I know that. And I know that that connection, even if he wants to leave space for, even if, let's say, it's all on the 3D and it's all on the up and up and there's no other levels, let's say, okay? Even if it's just in the 3D, we both know there's a connection there. He knows there's a connection there too. So even if he says that he's inviting me to come and see his mother because his mother and I are friends and we want to, I also think it's a family thing because we feel like family. And so it feels like we're going on a family trip. And it has nothing to do with what I'm gonna, what am I getting out of it? I enjoy it. It doesn't have to be with all these conditions. See, it's unconditional. It doesn't have to be with all these conditions. Okay, it comes along with, you owe me something, or you're not attracted to me, so I'm offended. I mean, there's lots of people that I like that I'm not attracted to. Including lots of girlfriends. So why does it have to be dependent on that? He's one of the most interesting people that I know. I enjoy being around him. I learn from him. He has interesting things to say. And he has this vibe that I like being around. So if I can go and get that a little bit here and there, then I'm a happy camper. A little bit's better than nothing. And it's his choice. I think that also I had a friendship, a really long friendship with a friend that I didn't feel romantic towards. And I liked him as a person. And we hung out all the time. And I do feel like in some ways that got into that masculine niche. And maybe because of that, I didn't meet potential partners because I didn't feel the need for it, because it was partially supplied, or because, there's all sorts of reasons. So I can see it that way, and it hurts. What to do? What to do? It's all going to play out how it's going to play out. And it's so funny because his mother is so funny, and she likes me. And so we were sitting there after this long time that we didn't talk, right? And she knows that we're not talking. And she keeps on saying, what happened between you guys and this and that? And I'm just like, and I told her what, we talk. And so we were sitting there and we were laughing at the table. So she puts in her 2 bits. She says, oh, good. I like seeing you guys like this happy together. And he got after her. He says, he said to her, that we're biyachad, like we're together. And he got after her and said that she doesn't need to interfere and not to get involved. And how would she like it if he did the same thing to her and tried to push her into a relationship? And he got really after her, and she sat there and she took it. Because when he gets after you don't want to be in the situation. You really don't. It hurts. It's like a tongue lashing of sorts. You see, I like him. He's funny. He's funky to be around. You're always in these awkward situations. Like heart-wrenching awkward. Like him telling me, I'm just not attracted to you. Yeah, you're just, you're going to have to face it. But at least you know exactly where you stand. And it also makes you grow because he says the truth no matter what. It doesn't matter. And sometimes it's really difficult to hear the truth, and sometimes it's really difficult to say the truth. And so it's teaching me how to be truthful. And not truthful in a way of like open, because I'm open. See, I'm talking about, but it's a way of being truthful, like brutal honesty. Brutal honesty. I mean like brutal, tongue-lashing, heart-wrenching honesty. But I appreciate that. I don't want to be somewhere where somebody's like, feels a certain way and they don't tell me, and they're like wiping corners and stuff. I would rather know head on. I would rather know head on. At least when it's head on, I know what I'm dealing with, and I don't have to play pretends. And I go into situations knowing what the situation is. It's my choice. Nobody's finagling me into a situation that I don't want to be in or whatever. Okay, so maybe it's a situation that hurts, but I still have the choice if to enter in or not. And if I choose to enter in, it's at my own risk, it's my own price. Like I'm willing to go there and hear all the pain in like things that he said, like getting after his mother, don't get involved in my relationships, or like don't try to talk me into a relationship. That hurts a little bit. Or he said, there was a remark there at the end that he said that was like a little twisty, like it's just like, just know your place, like kind of. I don't want to say what it was because it's about a conversation that I don't want to have right now. But it was like, stick a knife in there and like twist it just a little bit, like twerk it, like just move it just a little bit, like just remember where we are. Nothing else changed. Oh, and then at the end, he said he gave me some really good advice, and I said, I know, and I said, I trust you. And he said, don't trust me, trust you and trust God. Oh no, he said, trust you and trust God and leave me out of it, which is true. I mean, you can't put your trust in somebody else. It's like putting your weight onto somebody. Like here, it's not my responsibility anymore. I trust you. Now I need to get my big girl britches on. Big girl britches. My granny panties and my big girl britches. And get a hold of myself and trust in God and reconnect. Get out of the mind loops and just do what needs to be done. Just move forward, but mainly work on myself. I understand this. As I resolve myself, everything outward will also resolve. It has to. When I'm resolved, the life outside of me will also be resolved, because if I'm resolved, it has to be. A resolved being can't live in an unresolved world. Everything will sink into place with me. It's like I feel it coming. I remember before my big depression, I went through this depression of a mega depression for months. I don't even remember how many months it was. It was like one big, I don't know, like black hole. It was torture. But then you come through it, and you come through it that much stronger, and the peaks are that much higher. And before that depression came, I felt something is coming. Something is coming. Something is coming. I could feel it. And now I feel like there's an explosion coming. And in a good way. I mean, like there's a switch. It's like there's this spiral that you go in under pressure. And now I'm glitching in between these two dimensions, or these two different worlds, or these two different ways of thinking, or these two different perspectives, or, which in one of them I am way out there ahead. Everything is in place and working for me and with me and through me in sync. And I'm almost there, like full time. And in the other one, there's like these mind, like buzzes, like mind buzzes. I think that talking about this, doing these videos, is talking that out. It's like doing my own self-therapy, I keep on talking it out. And this relationship with my twin flame is tugging at all of my being. It is pulling me like out of shape. I can imagine like this cartoon of like, let's say, this balloon that's being pulled all over the place, like it's funky. It's pulling at my heartstrings and my abandonment issues and my helplessness, maiden syndrome and breaking all the different structures that I have in my mind of how things should be, would be, could be, excuses for myself. It's making me strong, stronger than I ever could have imagined. And it's like I'm on the fast track. It's like I'm bypassing years and years and years of work. It's like doing quantum leaps quantum leaps in the spiritual awakening. It's like if I was on the path by myself in the spiritual awakening, all of a sudden I met him as a mirror, and it's just like into outer space. And I think also me allowing him to keep coming back. I keep coming back. If he calls me, I come. And I think that he can trust that too, that I'll put up with whatever. I don't care as long as he's, truthful, and I see the intelligence behind it. Because all of these twisty things, even the date hostage thing, the hostage date thing. I can see the higher good behind what he did, and I can also see the higher good for me, because it's like forced me to go through like these really uncomfortable things. And not only that, I can also feel what it feels like to be in somebody's shoes that is being blamed for like even like sexual harassment. Like I can feel what that, when somebody calls you, like I can feel what it feels like to sit in that place now. I don't think I've ever felt what it feels like really to sit in a place of somebody that goes over boundaries and is trying to like force themselves on somebody. And because I never really I don't think I've ever been in that situation before. But I do come on strong to him. I do. I do. But I think it also pulls his boundaries a little bit, him having to like hold me off and being able to say it point blank and keep on saying it, because he knows it hurts when he says it, but I'll just take it. And so it allows him to, practice that, tell you tell you like it is in your face. That's a good that's like a that's a good thing to have up your good thing to have, not up your sleeve, because it's not like hidden. It's a good thing to have control over, to where you have that and you can push through and tell the truth anyway. That is a strong attribute. And so he can invite me over, and I can come over, and he can shoot arrows at me, little stingy arrows. Just so you know, you're still on your own. Don't latch on over here. No latchies, no latchies. I only called you so you could come and visit with my mother. Okay. Well, I'm sending you lots and lots of love.